Where did I leave you guys last week? Oh yeah, that's right. I left you at the next influencers that could affect the credit card that you're gonna get, guys, yeah? Keep watching to find out more on this topic.
You know what you're watching. DS Learning Finance. Whoa.
Now my next influencer is probably the number one fee. It's like the first thing that probably pops up to your head whenever you're thinking about getting a credit card, yeah? But it is important to stress, guys, yeah? You should not be paying more than what you have borrowed in your credit card if you, 1, spend within your allowance, and 2, pay it back on time each and every month. Those two things put together at the same time, guys, you need to be doing them both, yeah? Means you should not be paying more than what you owe, basically. However, if you miss a payment, guys, you miss to pay everything back in full, boy, your backside is theirs then. I can't help you with that one. And this is basically what a purchase fee is. It's when you borrow your credit card, you borrow a certain amount of money on the credit card and you don't pay it back in full on time. You are subject to a fee, people. And the fees tend to be crazy, yeah, because you'll just notice the once very, very little interest rate that you saw before now becomes a staggering 100%, 200%, whatever of what you initially owe. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But they're well within their rights, because what you're basically telling the credit card company is that you borrowed this huge amount of money and you can't pay it back in full on time. You're a liability. And oh yeah, guys, just to nip this bud in the head, there are a lot of credit cards that offer a 0% purchase fee, i.e. you can borrow as much as you like for a certain amount of periods. I've seen some that stretches even as far as 2 years, guys. 2 years of borrowing debt, yeah, and not paying everything full in time. But don't worry, guys, yeah. You're gonna be fed to the lions, because once that 2-year period is passed, your backside is theirs, yeah. For the pouncing. So you need to make sure that you pick up these good habits straight away, paying your money on full, on time. Okay, guys, I got one thing to confess. I might have exaggerated with the interest rate being 100%, 200%, yeah. But I just wanted to paint a picture, okay? Realistically, though, guys, I've actually seen credit cards with 69% interest rate. So once you skip that one payment, yeah, or when you don't pay in full, you're subject to 69% on top to pay to the credit card company for saying, hey, sorry, I couldn't pay all the money in on time. But, guys, I've got a great idea, yeah, for you to not be subject to any of this interest. Pay your bills on time in full every time. Yeah, it's common sense though, guys. Don't borrow more than what you can put in when it comes to payment time. Now, don't get me wrong though, guys, yeah. Some of those cards actually come more in handy than what you think, because you can use that amount of money, yeah, to basically pay off huge amounts of debts that you might owe. So for example, let's say you wanted to lay a house on a deposit, you can use that credit card to contribute or pay all of that deposit money without like having to obviously pay any interest for the next 2 years. So there is a place for those sort of cards, but the key part is understanding where that place is, and that comes with really experience and knowledge. And the thing that I love about this is that it actually brings me on to my next influencer, which is direct debits, guys. Where is it? There we go. Direct debits, yeah. Whew. This is important. Man, oh man, this is important. A good way to avoid missing a payment, 1, or not paying the amount of money you owe in time, 2, is by setting up a direct debit towards that credit card company. So basically, you get your own money in whatever account, your separate account, whatever it is, and you pay it back on time to that credit card company. Whatever amount you owe that credit card company, you pay it back on time because it's direct debit. This has saved me so many times though, guys. I can't lie. Even as good as at managing my credit card debt as I am, this has saved me so much. You see, most credit card companies give you 3 options when it comes to direct debit. Yeah. The first one is to just disregard it, so not have a direct debit set up. Yeah, you can tell by my facial expression what I think of that, guys. Yeah. 2, only paying off a fraction of what you owe. Yeah, don't ask me why anyone would do that. You guys can probably tell similarly what I think about that one. And the 3rd one is to pay it back full on time every time with the direct debit. So those 3 options are normally what you're subject to before you get the credit card. Now, if you aren't offered those options, I suggest you ask for those options, because credit card companies, they're clever. I imagine it's their legal obligation to obviously make sure that you're offered that before you even apply for the credit card. But you never know though, guys. It's important to not take the risk. So always suggest it, even if you're not offered it in the first place. When you have a direct debit set up with a credit card company, what you're basically telling them is, look, the money's here. It's your responsibility now to take this money in full each and every time. So what that therefore means is that you're no longer responsible for organizing the transfers. The company who you borrowed that money to, so the credit card company, they're responsible for it. So if they make any hiccups during the transferal process, that's their fault. You no longer have to pay interest, guys. And that's important. I'm going to explain why later on in the video, but, well, coming very soon, guys. But I also want to stress on the fact though, guys, yeah, there's still, even within that direct debit bubble, yeah, there's still a possibility that you might pay more interest. And the way that you might actually do this is by not having enough money in that account basically to do it, or not having the money at the right time, whatever it is, preventing you from paying that credit card company in full. Now, you might say, okay, that's fine. I know I'm going to have a certain amount of money in at this time to match the direct debit for this credit card at that time. Cool. But what could potentially happen is, let's say you forget to put that money in. So let's say you owe the credit card company £200. You currently have £100 in that account, yeah. Now, you might have some account that just gives you that £100, for example. So you're not allowed to take any more than that, just £100. Or you might have an account with an overdraft. So let's say you can take £100 of your money, but then you borrow that bank, so not the credit card company, the bank that you're moving the money from, you borrow that bank an extra £100, yeah, to pay off your £200 that you owe the credit card company. Cool. So all willy-nilly, everything goes well. You transfer the £200 to that company. You don't have to pay them debt, but guess what? Like, they got interest to add on top now because you borrowed money from them. So this is what I mean though, guys. Yes, you've got a direct debit. It's important, but at the same time, make sure you got enough money in that direct debit, guys, way before you need it. Okay. And this is a little tip that you can use for personal loans, any sort of like debt borrowing that you have taken on from a lender. That is a good route to make sure that you never miss those payments, guys. And if you do it by yourself, then I'm not gonna lie, good luck to you guys, yeah, because you're gonna need it. It's mad because, like, I guarantee you, one of those days in your borrowing time frame, yeah, so as much as you have that money, one of those days, yeah, where you have to pay that debt in on time, one of those dates is gonna either fall on a bank holiday, it's gonna be on a weekend, like a Sunday, so no money can be transferred straight away, or there's gonna be a delay during the transferring process. So paying back that money, there's gonna be some sort of delay. One of those 3 things though, guys, at least for one of those dates. And this is why it's important to set up the direct debit. Because what you're saying is no longer your responsibility to transfer the money on time, it's the credit card company's responsibility. So if they miss the time, it's not your fault. You don't pay interest for it. It's their fault. And now that I'm just thinking about it, guys, another thing that's happened to me with this topic, yeah, is let's say, like, for example, it's Friday. I'm going to use a credit card company to do my weekly shopping for next week, yeah. Cool. But my payment due date is, like, let's say, next week Friday, yeah. Now sometimes when you do credit card transactions, they don't show up in your account, yeah. They don't show up when you look at it online for several days after, several working days after. So there's a chance that, yes, cool, you might end up paying the amount that you see But really, later on down the line, yeah, there's actually more amount that you have to pay. So in that case, you've only paid out a fraction of what you owe the credit card company. And the main problem is they actually won't see it like that though, guys. They won't see it as, okay, maybe he's got the money, but he doesn't know how much exactly he owes. He just paid what he's seen. They don't see it as that. They'll just see it as, yo, this guy don't have enough money to pay back everything on time. That's it. And why put that extra pressure on yourself, though, guys? It doesn't make any sense. To me personally, what makes more sense is a direct debit being set up, because a direct debit also counters making that mistake. Direct debit ensures that the money's taken out on time. Direct debit just ensures you aren't subject to any purchase fees as long as there's enough money in that direct debit. So why not do it for peace of mind? And that's the end of my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now make sure to stay tuned for next week's video to talk about the next influencers that could possibly affect the credit cards that you guys might get. It's important stuff though, guys. Cool. It's your favorite YouTuber though, guys, Dami Solari. I talk about stock market investments, property investments, financial management too, giving you guys that consistent content, you know, before you guys can go about doing whatever you're going to do for the rest of the day. So with me, like, subscribe and share, people. What? DS Learning Finance. Whoa. Bye, guys.
Whoa.
Ha!